some incredible animals live in the oceans, and I think we're only just coming to terms with how fragile this world of ours really is. We can't go on being selfish anymore and just pumping in sewage into the ocean or filling the air with dangerous gases and chemicals from our industry, or even just digging a hole and burying household rubbish. It's just not good enough anymore. And I think Stephanie found out just how dangerous even common litter can be to animals.
It's easy enough to do, isn't it? You finish your chocky bar or your ice block, there's no bin around, and it's pretty tempting just to throw the piece of paper away. Or sometimes you don't even do it deliberately. You just forget and the paper ends up on the ground. And a lot of people think, well, you know, what does it matter? It looks a bit ugly and you shouldn't do it, but never mind, it happens. But there's another very dark side to litter. You've probably seen cans of drinks held together by these plastic things, and you rip the plastic off and take your drinks out. And, I mean, it looks pretty harmless enough, doesn't it? But the problem is, once it's in our river system, it causes all sorts of problems. Larger fish swim through the holes and they get stuck. And for the ducks, it's a real problem for them because they get their feet stuck in it and they can't swim properly. Or they put their heads through it, and birds have the same problem. It can even cover their wings. So if you see any of these around, make sure you put them in the bin. Or better still, because they can still cause problems, what you should do is rip them up so that the rings don't hold anything anymore.
Well, as Steph found out, the problems are not just related to a few examples of rubbish. It seems that every bit of our waste can have a disastrous effect. All it takes is one careless action. Simple, everyday household items can, when disposed of the wrong way, turn into lethal weapons capable of creating even more pressure on our environment and the creatures which exist upon it. But a better attitude from each of us can mean a longer life for a lot of the animals we love.
When you buy your drink at the zoo, there is one thing you won't get, and that's a straw. Because straws have been banned because they pose such a problem to the animals. If people throw them into the cages, or even if they just leave them lying outside and the animal gets hold of them. But straws aren't the only problem, and to tell us about some of the other litter problems in the zoo is zoo vet David Schultz. Hi, David.
Hello, Stephanie.
How are you?
I'm very well, and yourself?
Oh, not too bad.
Good.
What other sort of litter poses problems for zoo animals?
Well, I think probably one of the most serious ones is bits of string, binder twine that's often found on bits of hay. If animals, particularly primates, and actually they think something like this is great, and they eat it, that can in fact cause very serious problems to their bowel. Bits of plastic bag are bad news as well. Primates, once again, particularly, will eat something like this and can cause obstruction.
Because they're just not used to eating these sorts of things.
No, and they're not used to it, and they can't digest it, you see. Bits of paper, for example, plastic cup, that's probably not too bad if the animals eat it, because they can digest it. But string and plastic bag, an absolute no-no here.
So what are some of the problems that you've seen with animals and litter?
Well, this is a pretty sad point that you've raised, actually. We've had a recent case where a giant anteater, in fact, picked up a rubber band from somewhere. Now, you would not think of a rubber band, a tiny, small rubber band, could cause a problem. But an anteater has got a very long, skinny tongue, and it went over his tongue and cut off the circulation. Now, I got it off all right, but unfortunately, he failed to recover from the anaesthetic.
And he died?
And he died, yeah.
And anteaters are endangered species, aren't
Absolutely, yeah. And that's just a real tragedy for us, yeah.
That's terrible. So what can people do to stop this happening?
Put it in a bin.
Yeah, well, you can tell from David's attitude just how serious it is.
Yeah, it's so important to remember to throw things away properly in the bin.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right, because you've got to look after us animals, don't they, Rob?
Us animals.
Yeah, well, we have to look after you, pal.
That's right.
right,
I'm
and-
an animal too.
Speaking of that, I think you need a bath.
Yeah, no, I don't. I just had one.
And come to think of it, it's time for
doing?
your inoculation.
Yeah.
We're going
right.
to take you to David Schultz. Come on.
Right
But
now.
I'm healthy. I feel good.
We've got to go. We'll see you later on for
Help
another.
me.
Come on, kids.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Come on.
Man,
Come on, we're going for a walk.
I feel
David
good.
Schultz.
I'm telling you.
No, come on.